Well, good morning, everybody. This is Mike Varanakis with Security National's Marketing Department. I have the pleasure of being here today with Jeremy Cox and Stuart Snow. Thank you both for joining us. Jeremy, do you want to take a minute just to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Jeremy, like Mike just mentioned, and I'm our sales development director. So what that means for me is I get the opportunity to connect with our market sales managers, area sales managers, team sales leaders, all of our managers across the country. And one of those gentlemen in particular is Mr. Stuart Snow right here with us. And one thing I can tell you about Stuart is he leads from his heart. He leads with passion. He leads from the front, and he doesn't ask anybody to do something that he's not willing to do himself. And so that's one thing I've appreciated about working with Stuart. So Stuart, if you want to just take a couple minutes and introduce yourself, we can move on from there.
Okay, I'm Stuart Snow, as Jeremy said, and I'm the area sales manager for basically the Midwest for Security National Life, 4 different states. Love what I do, love helping people, training people, recruiting people, onboarding people, the whole thing. Of course, I live in Ohio, and that's where I hail from, and I have 4 beautiful children and a beautiful wife. Been married for 31 years, funeral director in Balmer. And of course, now with Security National Life, been here for a while.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate that, Stuart. One of the things that we talk about a lot when it comes to, putting protection in place for families and giving them an opportunity to make a decision to give their families a gift. A lot of those families we talk to, in the industry, so to speak, are referred to as leads. Like who are you going to tell the story to, and who are you going to give an opportunity to put protection in place? So can you talk to us a little bit about, the importance of your agents having leads or people to talk to, or, which lead sources have worked the best for you? Just anything you can share with us about the importance of that, and then maybe some best practices that you've seen either from yourself or, some of the agents that you work with. So just, talk to us a little bit about leads. What do you think about it?
Well, I kind of have a simple philosophy there, but detailed as well. And that is, every person that is a salesperson, whatever role they play, if they don't have a lead on Friday, they're out of business on Monday. And I'm a firm believer of that. You've got to have a constant pipeline that is filled, whether that is filled with at-need family, loved ones, whether that is filled with mailers, whether that is filled with, any number of lead generation tools that we have at our disposal. I think it's imperative not only to have leads, but I think it's imperative to follow up on those leads. I know that I spend a good bit of time talking to folks on a regular basis about, hey, it was such and such time since you looked at this lead, just kind of wondering what's going on here, And then, of course, if I see a pattern there, for instance, I know next week I've got to go and spend some one-on-one time all afternoon with an agent, just because, I want to make sure he's fully aware of the lead process, the CRM, why we use it, how we follow up on it, what we do with it, why it's there, that it's not just a tool that's there, it's a tool we need to utilize. So I just think it's imperative. Any sales organization, you don't have leads, you're out of business. And if you don't have leads, you need to go get some. So that's kind of my philosophy.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for sharing with that. Mike kind of helps with the recruiting side of things too. So maybe Mike wants to position this next question for you.
For sure. So recruiting is a big piece, as you know, Stuart. Got to have agents out there selling. What do you look for in a new agent? Maybe kind of the expectations of the ones that work for you. How do you keep them engaged? You touched on that a little bit, but maybe expand on it a little.
Yeah, I think that any manager of people needs to be a person that is full of energy himself, because, you're going to breed what you are. And, if you have energy and you're full of energy, I think you're going to have people that are full of energy. The first thing I look for in a recruit is someone that has energy, someone that has excitement, someone that can tell me a story and have excitement with that story. I think that's the first thing I look for, because, you have to like somebody. And quite frankly, if I like somebody that I'm interviewing, chances are I'm going to have a great opportunity to work with them. But if I don't like them, chances are I'm not going to have a good opportunity to work with them. So I think they need to be energetic. I think they need to be likable on a regular basis. Once that person is on recruited and onboarded and in the swing of things, I think there needs to be regular communication with that agent. I can't tell you over the years that I have seen managers and people that train others, hire somebody and then their manager never sees them again, and that just can't happen. There's got to be a relationship there. My pastor said something to me years ago that has stuck with me in business too. When someone works with you and when you have a relationship with somebody, you need to have the kind of relationship with them that they'll go to the jumping off place with you. And I always liked that, that kind of says it all. If they don't trust you and they don't like you, guess what? You're not going to get a whole lot out of them, number one. And number two, if you don't show them what to do instead of tell them what to do, that's already going to put a big strike against you.
Yeah. Well, and I can attest to the fact, Stuart, the fact of, being energetic and, being likable and, having a trusting relationship, that comes pretty natural for you. And so I think people see that. So when they talk about, well, do I want to, do pre-need insurance in, this territory, I feel like any agent that is willing to engage and is willing to learn the business and is willing to, let you lead them and show them the way. That's something that you do naturally. And, I think you're dead on with, what you do and what you expect from agents. So that's good it's good to see. Kind of a follow-up question to that. Oftentimes with agents, you had mentioned, sometimes we'll get them appointed and they'll be all excited about working with, Security National or this particular funeral home. And then there's just not really training that happens in some cases, certainly not with our company. It's always the other guys, right? But what do you do with your training? Like if an agent were to come to you and say, hey, how are you going to train me? Do you have, some best practices with training that you typically will help them with?
Yeah. One of the first things I do is our different apps, our lasting care portal, how you can download that to somebody's phone, our recruiting tool, text to recruit, how you download that to somebody's phone. I mean, we have all of these different tools to train people with. And, so many people tell them about it, but they never show them how to put it on their phone, show them how to put it on their laptop, because, there's some people just don't know how to do that and you need to help them. Those are invaluable. And one of the first things I do when I have a new recruit is during the training process, the first day, I take them to that website, that Preneed training website, and I go over all that stuff. And when they say, well, how does this work? How does that work? I mean, I'll spend, and some people say, well, that's too long, but I'm telling you, I will spend half a day with somebody just showing them all of our tools and our processes. The next thing I do is I reach out to Kelly Stoddard and I reach out to all of the different folks within our organization that do different things. And I ask them, hey, can you do a Zoom call with such and such? I just want them to know about claims. I want them to know about commissions. I want them to know about product cards, I mean, we have all of these people within the organization. I mean, I learned a long time ago, I don't know everything. You know what I mean? And I want to surround myself with people that know more than I do. I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. I just want to be the most prepared guy in that room.
Absolutely. Do you feel that people, when they leave your training, that they have the tools that they need to get going and become successful?
Yeah, I think they do, but I know there's those times that they have to come back and they have to say, remind me of this, remind me of that. There's
Yeah.
some of that goes on from time to time, but I feel pretty good after someone is trained, but I don't just take that at face value and say, okay, they're trained. I give follow-up phone calls to every person that is hired. It's not being a micromanager. It's just making sure that your people are doing what they're supposed to be doing and that they're telling the SNL story the way it's supposed to be told, and not, as you say, Jeremy, rounding off the corners.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And training and recruiting, it's a lot like parenting. You stick with someone until they understand your culture and until they understand what they're doing. So the follow up's big.
And I think that's awesome, Stuart, by the way, that, because we really do have a lot of moving pieces with SNL. There's a lot of different facets of what we do. So I think that's awesome that you take everybody through that. Kind of leading into that, so we do have a lot of tools available, and maybe kind of share with us some tips or the tools that you've kind of found to be successful for you or for your team. Obviously, we're still kind of selling in a very odd climate right now, but we've adapted. So maybe kind of share with us a little bit about that.
Well, I think one of the greatest things that we've done over the last several months is the creation and the development, I should say, of the Agent Portal 2.0. I mean, think about it. Everything that you need to run your business can be found on Agent Portal 2.0. And if a person learns how to navigate that correctly and use it to their advantage, looking up reports, how to look up a report, looking at progress, how to look up a progress report. I mean, all of those things to me, I use that religiously. I probably get on it 2 or 3 or 4 times a day sometimes. I'm not on it long, but I like to get on in the morning and see what pending looks like. I like to get on in the morning and see if any new business had come in. And the other thing I think that tool is good for is, the people that did write new business that are under your direct report. It's good to reach out to them and say, thank you. Thank you for your business. Not a long phone call, but just something very simple. So those are some tools I've learned from others in the organization that have really helped me. But Agent Portal 2.0, I think, is probably one of the single greatest accomplishments over the last few months. That and telesales. I have not used telesales personally. I know how to use it, but I have others that have, and they really like it. I even have a funeral homeowner that has used it and likes it. So I think that's another good tool. But like I said, there's no value to having these tools and not utilizing them.
Yeah. Awesome. The way these tools end up getting developed is always interesting to me because a lot of the best ideas we have, come straight from the field, like, agents trying to, accomplish something. And so they share, well, what if we did this? What if we did that? And I know at Security National, it's got to be good for, the company. It's got to be good for our employees. It's got to be good for our agents. And then it has to be good for our families. And so if something exists as a tool, it's because it's passed that test, so to speak, and so it generally gets used that way. Speaking of that, if you have a tool and you've got all these resources, and you don't have a goal, or you can't get motivated, or you're stuck, there's no momentum, it's kind of pointless to have the tool, right? You have a saw sitting by a tree limb all day long and not use it. So talk to us a little bit about, just the importance of, setting some goals or, some strategies on staying motivated, maybe for you personally, or maybe some of that you pass along to your folks. Just talk to us a little bit about goals and motivation. How do you navigate through that?
Yeah, I'll give you a prime example. So we had the Dallas meeting, okay? And after the Dallas meeting, the Monday that I got back, I had a team Zoom call with the managers, okay? And the purpose of that call was to go over, I opened it up by saying, what did you learn? What motivated you to do better and all these things. Then the end of the call, we put together a game plan, for Pennsylvania, put together a game plan for Illinois. And that's kind of what we do. And I put together a game plan for myself. And we shared that with everybody that was on the call. And it did pay off. I mean, we've seen some good spikes in production in both of those states, and we're starting to in my state. It's been a slow process, but it's just one example. Everything rises and falls with leadership, John Maxwell said, and that is so true. You have to constantly be motivated yourself. And the way I get motivated is, of course, being a pastor, I read after a lot of Christian authors, but I also read after a lot of secular authors. And if I don't know something, or there's something I want to be more motivated on, then I'll read a book about it. You know what I mean? Because I want to be that person that people can come to and that they can get value out of. I don't want to just be that person that beats a drum but never does anything to motivate anybody else. You can tell people what to do all day long, but if you show them what to do, that to me gives them motivation, because then they realize and begin to realize themselves, man, I can do this. I can do this job. I can get excited about this job.
Mm-hmm.
And some people it takes a long time to learn that, and others it doesn't take that long to learn it.
Yeah.
So I believe, motivation is the key. It really, really is. And, I can't be on a call and be, I might call someone in leadership above me to talk to them about things that maybe I'm down about or whatever, but my people won't hear it. You know what I mean? To them, they're going to see this smile every day, and to them, they're going to see this excitement every day. And to them, they're going to see, I might have kicked the dog on the way out of the house, but they're not going to know about it. You know what I mean? I don't even have a dog. So just.
But you'd find a dog.
Yeah,
that's right.
You'd have bigger issues if you're kicking around an imaginary dog. So I think one of the key things you said was at the very beginning of, you got your people together to talk about their goals and voicing them out loud, to a group of people, because a goal without an idea without a deadline remains an idea, an idea with a deadline, turns into a goal. And oftentimes that's a missing component. And so having a conversation about, well, when would you like to see this happen? Is just as important as, what you would like to see happen. So, that's really good. Well, we've got one more question. We'll fire it over here to Mike, and we'll start winding this thing down a little bit. But
Sure.
Yeah, we have one more question for you, Stuart.
Okay.
Maybe Stuart, share with us a little bit about the why behind what we're selling and how it relates to your processes and the rewarding feeling serving families as they plan for their future.
Yeah, I think that there's a couple philosophies involved with that. One of the platforms I've lived by as a funeral director and as Preneed is every family, every option, every time. I follow that pattern, and I teach others to follow that pattern. And what I mean by that if you dive deeper into that statement, what it means is that you are going to be, to that family, you are going to be empathetic. You are going to be educated on your subject so that you can show them all of their options, not tell them what they need, but show them all of their options so that they can make an educated decision as to what's best for their family. That's the goal. I mean, the family is what matters. What we do at Security National Life every single day, we have an opportunity to change a life. Every single day, we have an opportunity to change somebody's mind. Every single day, we have an opportunity to make someone's situation better. And, after all, what's life all about? Leaving people in a better shape than when you first met them. And think about that. What other job in the world can you do that? I just think it's a good thing.
Absolutely. And I've heard you, talk about this a lot, Stuart, just kind of uh, this empathetic, passion and the reward it is to, talk to a family. The light bulb goes off about, hey, this isn't for me. Like this is a gift to my family, and to be a part of that happening with somebody, and then they decide what they want to do, and then they decide, oh, I'm actually going to pay for this, and I'm going to put it in place, and I'm going to give myself peace of mind. And those aren't just words for you. I've seen you, live that, not only with families, but also with your people. So, one of the things about you, Stuart, you are who you are. You're very straightforward. You're very direct. You're also authentic in how you approach things. And so, Security National is in a good spot for, having you part of this team and doing what you do. So, I appreciate you being on here, and I appreciate the privilege I have of, being able to work with you and talk with you and just be a part of your life and a part of your career. So thanks for joining us on here today. And I know Mike's probably got some closing comments as well, but that's, what I wanted to say to you. So thank you for that.
I echo Jeremy. I say this often to the managers and to colleagues that you guys are teaching me every day as well, which is awesome. And I'm continuing to learn, and it's a really great experience. And I've learned a lot over the years working for Security Nationals because of you guys. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let me say too, you guys have brought value to my life, and I appreciate both of you. And I've learned a lot from both of you, and I'll continue to do so. So thank you guys both for what you mean to our company and what you mean to our organization, because you guys are A players. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you being with us today, Stuart. Mike, thanks for setting all this up, and I guess you guys have a fantastic weekend, and let's close out the week in a strong fashion, shall we?
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys both very, very much for being here, and we will see everybody soon.